Andrews, 20 years later this week, we're remembering the 3,000 lives lost in the 9/11 terror attacks, and that day changed the lives of so many forever, even people here at home.
And our Zainab Shaib, she introduces us to a Toledo woman that saw the news that morning like so many of us did. Then her husband said something that she says would change her life forever.
I met him back in February of 2001, and just like anything else, I just met him out. Our relationship went a little bit too fast. I ended up becoming pregnant.
Jennifer Dahmani is an all-American woman born and raised in Toledo. She fell in love with a man she met in Arizona. They started as friends, then they met each other's friends. It wasn't until months later she learned some of those friends were accused of training the hijackers who carried out the terrorist attacks on 9/11.
So it was August when we were invited to his friend Sophia and Lamesh, who was also arrested later on.
On September 11th, 2001, 19 militants hijacked 4 airplanes and carried out suicide attacks against the United States. It's a day that changed lives forever, including Jennifer's.
I remember getting up and my best friend calls me and she said, "Turn on the TV." And I turned on the TV and she goes, "Dude, we're gonna go to war." And I was like, "What?" And that's when I believe the second plane obviously hit the tower. And I just remember sitting there like speechless.
Around that time, Jennifer's relationship was going downhill. She decided to head back to Toledo to visit close friends and family before her due date. That's when the man she fell in love with gave her a second shock of a lifetime.
That morning, when I was getting ready, the news was on, and he was in the other room, and he like popped up real quick and he said, oh my God. He goes, "I live with him." And I'm like, "Who?" And he said, "Lotfi Raissi."
Jennifer's husband, Redouane Dahmani, said he used to live with Raissi. He told her the FBI wanted him to take a polygraph test. A couple weeks after taking the test, government vehicles surrounded them.
We were coming down the stairs and we got into the car, and as soon as we started to back up, there was 20 plus unmarked cars surrounding our car and holding guns.
Jennifer packed her bags and saw her husband in person for the last time. The FBI searched their apartment and found evidence that made Redouane a person of interest.
When they were up in our apartment, they had found some flight manuals and some headsets. They also found another name that he used to use overseas.
Police found Redouane's name in a phone book belonging to a man accused of planning to bomb the Los Angeles airport. That led federal agents to arrest Redouane on November 7th. Around the same time, Jennifer was about to go into labor.
My water just had broke. She left to go put on her scrubs, and the news media comes in my room. And that was very traumatic. They invaded my privacy, and they had asked me how I felt about my husband's arrest.
Jennifer gave birth to a healthy baby girl named Bea. It wasn't a normal delivery. Security personnel watched the room, keeping a close eye for any potential threats to Bea or her mom.
People were calling her a terrorist baby.
At just 3 years old, Bea said goodbye to her father. He was deported on March 30th, 2004.
I feel like anyone who is to call me a terrorist baby, it's definitely hurtful. But at the end of the day, this all happened before I was born.
As the world remembers the terror attacks that struck the United States 20 years ago, Bea is near her 20th birthday. Both her and her mother believe to this day Redouane Dahmani is a victim of racial profiling. However, the U.S. government found during the search for evidence relating to 9/11 that he committed identity theft and fraud that led to his deportation to his home country of Algeria. And while the events of September 11th 11th, 2001 forever changed us as people, the attacks also changed the lives of Arab Americans facing racism for the past 20 years.
I should never have to be ashamed of who I am in my own skin. And I feel like as an Arab woman, you're different and unique in a way. And just being comfortable in your own skin, it's like the most amazing, fulfilling thing you could ever. I mean, I actually am really proud to be an Arab woman.
In Toledo, Zainab Shaib for WTOL 11.
Redouane Dahmani is no longer allowed to enter the United States, and his daughter has not been in contact with her father for several years. There are several local ceremonies happening this weekend to mark the 20 years after 9/11. These are just a few, and we have a full list of locations and times on our website, WTOL.com.